Welcome to the 7-day business revolution with me, Emma Greenslade. And I'm going to share my screen because I have got some slides for you. So, to me, abundance is an energy game. It's about aligning your frequency, expanding your frequency to receive everything and limitless possibilities. So, I'm curious. Sorry, today we are going to be talking about why most people chase abundance externally, but ignore their inner frequency. We're going to be talking about how our body, our beliefs, our breath determine what we allow in. So let me ask you a question. What does abundance truly mean to you? I'll just let you ponder on that. And I hope you've got a notepad and pen to take down some notes and also to have any aha moments. And I'd love to hear them. So yeah, what does abundance mean to you? What does it truly mean? What is not what you've been taught about abundance, but when you take a breath in and connect to your heart, what is it? So if you're still writing, if you're still pondering, maybe pause the recording, but I'm going to move along because perhaps these were questions may help you. So is abundance to have more material wealth, more, more experiences, more money, better health? Does abundance describe positive qualities to you? Is it to have an abundance of something, like a ton of cash? Or, I don't know, what else could it be? Uh, Absolute love? Is it to have lots of relationships? Is it to have an abundance of time? Or is abundance a feeling or an emotion? What do you want an abundance of? And if we were to connect into the energy of abundance, where would you be holding that? Where is it? Is it outside of yourself? Is it within yourself? If it's outside of you, is it to the left of you, to the right of you, behind you, in front of you? Is it far away? Is it close by? Where is the energy of abundance held in your frequency? Is it within your auric field? Or is it inside your body? And if it's inside your body, let's just take another breath in through the nose and breathing out and bringing your awareness into your body. Where is it? Where is that abundance? What does it feel like? Where is it stored? Can you connect to it easily? Now, if you're here, it's likely that you are looking for more abundance, as that's what the title of the 7-day business revolution is about. But the truth is, abundance isn't just about money. It's about the energy, the flow, and the expansion. And your nervous system must feel safe to receive big things. And if you're unable to connect into your body to feel where the abundance is held, and it's outside of your body, perhaps far away or to the left or to the right or in the distance, it's likely that abundance isn't quite in your vicinity at this time, isn't in your energy, isn't dialed up in your frequency. And when I talk about frequency, I liken that to a radio. You know how in the olden days we tuned the radio to the correct frequency to get our favorite radio station. And we, and if you were out just by one little notch, it would be all cracky. Well, that's kind of what has happening with your abundance frequency at this time. So it may just need a bit of fine tuning. It might need a lot of tuning. But depending on what abundance you desire will depend on the necessary tuning of your frequency. So who am I? I'm Emma Greenslade, and my business is Life in Harmony. And back around about 15 years ago, I lost everything. I had a multi-million-pound business. I was living in the tropics with a full complement of staff, with 2 children and a husband. And I had amassed, by the time I was 37 years old, I had amassed this, £4 million of property and a 6-figure income. The problem was I didn't feel like that it was something that was for me. It brought me a lot of responsibility. It brought me a lot of upsets and challenges and caused quite a lot of friction within my marriage. Unfortunately, what happened, we had that the credit crunch and some other disasters that happened along the way. And I literally lost everything, my home, my business, and my marriage within very few short weeks. My ex-husband flew into the sunset, leaving me with 2 children under 5. I sold my brand new car to pay the rent on the house that we moved into. And we moved from a very large house into a very small house. And I started selling off my possessions. And what I realized, that I had been so unhappy being that person of having that big responsibility of wealth, that actually I didn't know what to do with it. And I used to go shopping because I was really unhappy. I didn't know what abundance was. And I would go around spending it as quickly as it came in. By losing everything, what I learned is that actually abundance has got nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with the energy that we're dialed into. Now, my energy was dialed into struggle, challenges, not being good enough, and a whole heap of other limitations and beliefs that I had grown up with, being conditioned by in my early childhood. And I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe holding money. And I just didn't hold on to it. So by losing everything, I learned that actually feeling comfortable in my own skin, feeling safe in my own skin, was far more important to me than the material wealth that I had accrued over those years. So I set out um, to understand what abundance actually meant for me. My password was even abundance. There were some other things attached to it as well, but I wanted to understand and bring in abundance on my terms, not to what other people have been telling me, not what my ex-husband had wanted, because, having this multi-million pound business or property portfolio wasn't really my dream. Even though it was mine, I kind of felt that I was pushed into it, let's say. And then it just became natural that that was something that I could do. So, yeah, finding out what abundance really means to us, you, is really the first stage. And if you're struggling to understand what abundance means to you and what it is you really want to create in the world, then we need to have a conversation. And you can learn about that later on in the program, in the training. So what I found abundance truly meant for me was it wasn't about material wealth. It's about energy, flow, frequency, and those things bring about freedom. Because when you're tied to something that feels like a chore, that's not freedom. And that's how I felt with my business. I felt that I had to keep going, keep doing to make sure that money came in to pay the bills. And we had a really extravagant lifestyle, I can assure you of that. Abundance is, and perhaps you found that when we just took a breath and connected into what it meant to you. It's about feeling light and expanded, but to open to life's limitless possibilities. And everywhere that you're not allowing life's limitless possibilities, let's destroy and uncreate. This is one of the things that I learned back when I was going through my abundance journey, going into this journey of abundance, was the tools of access consciousness. And you can learn more about that by just going to accessconsciousness.com. Abundance means being deeply connected to yourself, your soul's truth, your soul's identity, and the energy of receiving without force or struggle, manipulation or control. Being in the allowance of receiving. Now, we've heard that about manifestations, haven't we? But being in the allowance of receiving the limitless possibilities that are available to you when you surrender to the control, surrender that control of forcing things to happen. Abundance is about having the inner safety to allow more health, more wealth, more happiness without fear or resistance. So one of the things that happened for me when I lost everything and, had all these challenges was that my health deteriorated. And if we don't have our health, then we have no wealth. So that was my first point of call, was to bring about the health for myself so I was able to look after my children. Abundance is an inside job. It's not something you chase. It's about something you align with. You feel clean and clear and grounded and in flow, and everything just happens with ease. The things that you desire, it naturally show up in your work, your relationships, your creativity, your finances, in all areas of your life. You've got to ask for it. So true wealth for me is freedom. It's the freedom within the body to relinquish and release all the identities that we've held on to, the identities that we've been conditioned with, the identities and the masks that we've worn to fit in, to people please, to make sure that we are enough, to be liked and unjudged, to drop that inner critic, to create the life on our terms, trusting in the divine timing of your energetic magnetism rather than external strategies. And we are 80, when we want to create something, it's 80% about energy and only 20% of strategy. So connecting in with ourselves, with our soul's identity, is the first port of call. And I have a visualization that I would like to gift to you. I'll give you the details at the end. That will bring you in connection with your soul's identity, what it is you're here to actually create. Create what you love. What would you love to create? Just because you love it, rather than because that's what you've been told to do. Might be something completely different to what you're currently offering or doing right now. Which brings me on to another thing is about the being and the doing energy. As if you're a female, we are all being creatures. We are the receiving. That's our feminine. And you've probably heard that the masculine is all about the doing. And we've got to intertwine them both together. So we receive the downloads, the inspiration, the intuitive hits. And then the doing is taking the action, doing the step. So by tuning into your own creation, your intuition, you're able to get the guidance on the strategy. So most people think that abundance is just about money. And most people come to me because they want to play a bigger game. They want more money. But if you're not putting your money into places that are going to help and ripple around the planet or the community, then sometimes, the money doesn't get into the right hands. So a bigger bank balance, a luxury lifestyle, are all external successes. But true abundance, as I've said, is an energetic state. You can have millions like I did and still feel anxious and blocked and unfulfilled, just like I did. You could also have very little and feel completely free, safe, and abundant. We were living in India, and so I saw two very different communities. One was, 5% of the Indians have very high wealth, and the rest have, then you've got the middle people, and then you've got people that live on the streets and have very little. But they still feel safe and abundant, and they have a beautiful energy around them. So what would your abundance expression be? How would you like to live? Do you want to live light and lighten up your world to receive the abundance in your terms? Or do you want to follow the Joneses, as we say in the UK, and have that new car and this and the designer items, and what's going to make you feel fulfilled? So abundance is a frequency that moves through every part of your life. You know, if it's in your, perhaps have these, take a screenshot of this and think about your love and relationships, how you want that to look, how you want to feel abundant within your love and relationships, your opportunities and creativity, your wealth and success, or your career or business, and your freedom and well-being. Because abundance really is about how much energy you're able to allow through you, whether that's financial, emotional, or creative. The more open and relaxed and expanded you are, the more you will receive. But the key is that your nervous system must feel safe to receive. If you don't feel safe, it will reject the abundance, no matter how much you desire. Your nervous system is designed to protect you. It's also closely linked with your ego. And as we go through life, we have situations that we get that happen to us. We get, I don't know, let's say little Johnny calls you, tells you you've got a big nose, and that upsets you. And so when you want to come forwards and be visible, you may not feel safe to do so because of what little Johnny said. And that situation that happened in school is stored in your subconscious, but also it gets stored within your body, gets stored within the organs and the cells. And I kind of liken the body to be like a large stately building. So I'm going to say Buckingham Palace because that's in the UK, but you can think of something that happens, a big building that happens in your country. So I'm going to say that again. You can think of a building that's in your country, but I'm going to use the idea of Buckingham Palace. And you think about this big building and imagine it with all the lights on, every single light that there is. They're not bothering about how much the electricity is costing at this time. Every single light is on within the whole building, and it's so bright that you can see it from space. Imagine Diwali on imagine India on Diwali night, that you can see it from space because there's so many lights bringing in Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance and wealth. So we're going back to Buckingham Palace. It's lit up like a Christmas tree, so you can see it from space. You get the idea. It's so bright. And when we're born, we're exactly like that. We are so bright and light, we can be seen from space. What happens when we are born, we have this situation that we're not told, you're too big for mummy's tummy now. You have to leave. We just are rejected. It's our first time that we're rejected and we don't understand. We don't feel good enough because we've been pushed, we're pushed out. We're pushed out of our lovely, warm, safe 24/7 room service into the world. And we all have our own root limitation. We call that the personal lie. Then what happens is we have to work hard to be fed and watered and to have our nappy changed and be rocked and go to sleep. Whereas before, it was all done pretty easily. Then we have situations that happen. We might get told off. We might have a bit of a squabble with Johnny, who doesn't want to let us play with his toys. And as these situations happen, and as you then go to school, the lights all begin to turn off. And as the light gets turned off in the room, it may have no lights on at all, and the door gets closed. The dust begins to cover everything. The room becomes dark. And then the next room, the lights go off. And as we go through life with experiences and challenges and situations and struggles and triggers and upsets that get stored within our body, the lights begin to dim and dim and dim until we may only be living from one room. And we don't feel safe. Our nervous system doesn't feel safe. We don't feel safe. Now, if that's you, please get in contact with me, because I've got a very easy process to help you begin to feel safe. So you're not feeling in overwhelm or unworthiness or not good enough. A lot of people come to me because they don't feel good and they don't feel good enough. They don't feel capable. They don't feel like they belong. And all these situations, there's 6 of them, if all these situations that occur push abundance away and bring scarcity and lack further towards our energetic frequency, our auric field. And we begin to block and sabotage and resist receiving. We feel that if we're in control of how things occur, and we use force over power, then we think that we're going to get what it is that we want. So then the next thing that happens is your ego is there to keep you safe. So we've got your nervous system here not feeling safe, but then we've got your ego that wants to keep you safe. So we've got all this swirling mass going on inside the body, in the organs, in the cells, in the fascia. And then we've got the ego that wants to also keep you safe, doesn't like change. Because the ego knows how to, the conscious, which is what the ego is, knows how to manage the situations that we're in. So imagine you say, right, on Monday, right, that's it. My goal is I'm going to use the diet industry for a moment, because everybody, I would say the majority of us know about trying to reduce weight. And if that's not you, then I apologize, but this is the example that I'm going to use. So on Monday, you decide, right, that's it. I'm going to start on my diet. I'm going to get body fit for summer. And you've got rid of all your snacks that you shouldn't be eating, that you've been told aren't good for you. And you decide you're going to exercise, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do that. And, Monday goes really well, and Tuesday goes really well, and Wednesday goes really well. But then Thursday, you don't wake up in time. You're tired. You don't wake up in time. to make your lunch for the day. Because you've woken up late, you are then running late. You get caught in traffic, which you normally may not do. And you get to work and there's some stress at work. And you think, well, I haven't got my lunch. I'll just have whatever your comfort food may be. I'll just have that. And that will make me feel better. And then because you've lapsed on your diet, you think, right, well, I might as well have that glass of wine tonight. And then the next day, well, I didn't do very well yesterday. I may as well start back on Monday. Now, I don't agree with the diet industry and I don't drink alcohol, but you get my point. Your ego brings you back. So what happens is we've got the ego here. Sorry, we've got the ego this side. No, I'm going to do it this way. We've got the ego this side, and this is where you currently are. And this is where you want to get to. So we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we're getting towards. We've got the, you know, we've got the goal going on. We've got, you know, the idea that we want to lose weight. But what happens is then the ego, it doesn't quite get there, and so it brings you back to the beginning again. So we start on the following Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and you get to Friday this time, and you've got a after drinks works party or something, and you know the ego, no, I'm not going to do that, and you come back to the beginning again. And then the next week you try again. You might get to Saturday, you might not even get to Tuesday. And you can see that the ego is bringing you back here. Because, and this is called an oscillating identity. Because you're not in the frequency of being that person that is healthy, that person that, I don't want to use the body as my temple, but that person that eats the foods and consumes the drinks that are going to make them feel energetic. You're not being that person. So this is the same with stepping into the frequency of being that abundant person. So expansion often feels unsafe. Your nervous system must feel safe to receive. But if you're feeling unsafe and you're wired all the time for survival, this is going to be what I term pushing treacle uphill. If you grew up in the scarcity and unpredictability, your body's used to that. It's a habit. It's wired for that scarcity and unpredictability. We need to rewire your brain to receive the abundance. If you've had success like I did and lost it, your system may be in fear and disappointment of more failure. If you've been judged or rejected for shining, your body may equate being visible with danger. So the solution is teaching your body to feel safe, that receiving is safe. And that's why I use breathwork and energetic clearing to do exactly that. So when we use somatic practices, we're able to tap into the body to find where energy is stored that is preventing you from having the abundance and the richness that you desire. But it's not all about picking away at finding where the limitations are. It's about creating that future vision. Remember, you've got the meditation, the visualization to download. It's about visualizing that every single day And then asking, what do I need to do today that's going to move me towards that? So it's not just about changing your thoughts, it's about changing your nervous system to expand into more abundance, ease, and joy. And from that place, you get to feel fulfilled. And that brings freedom and a life you love. So there's 3 abundance codes. And the first one is energetic alignment. So clearing resistance and old scarcity patterns, because you cannot create an abundance forest from a scarcity seed. You cannot create an abundance forest from a scarcity seed. If your body and subconscious are wired for lack, struggle, or fear, no matter how much mindset work you will do, your subconscious will constantly keep overriding that. We must tap into the body. And so this misalignment shows up feeling like you have to work hard. This fear of losing money, success, and freedom. Feeling like you're stuck in this feast or famine cycle. It comes in one hand and it goes out immediately with the other. And you sabotage opportunities because you don't feel safe to hold them. So when you shift into the energetic alignment, you clear all these scarcity patterns stored within your body and nervous system. You don't keep picking away at the past. You step forwards to the life that you desire just because you love it. Not because that's what you've been told to do, not because you don't want to go to work, you don't want to have a job, not because, you think that you're going to look better if you lose a few pounds. No, because you love it. Love is on the one of the highest frequencies that we can have. And we always want to be in the frequency of love or above. When you step into this energetic alignment of what it is that you want to bring forward, your beliefs and terminology and ideas about abundance, you release these limitations around what worth, money, and success mean. You're in a different frequency. You feel different. You feel lighter. And you create the safety in receiving and attuning your body to expansion instead of contraction. When I first started this, when I first started learning what abundance meant to me, I was tuned into the frequency of contraction. I felt that everybody kind of wanted a bit of my pie, a bit of my money, and I didn't feel safe a lot of the time. I didn't know how things were going to be for me and my children. And I felt that I was in a well, a well that we bring water up from. It's a cylinder, like a cylinder. And I felt that I was at the bottom of this dry well. I couldn't see over the top of the well. I felt that I had hidden myself from everybody and everything around me and the goodness that was able to come forwards. And bit by bit, I was able to, sorry, I've got something in my eye. I was able to remove the blocks, which I'm going to call bricks, to be able to put my head above the parapet, above the well, to see what was going on, until I was visible. I was safe being visible. So when you're in the energetic alignment, the abundance flows easily because your system is open to it. You're not scared of receiving. You trust that the universe is always going to deliver what it is that you desire. And when we connect into the understanding of the next step, connecting to our intuition, to take that next step, to receive the guidance from our higher self, from the higher beings, from something that's much, much bigger than us, then we just keep following the breadcrumbs, keep following the steps. And I'm going to just give you a little story. I don't know how long I've been going. So the losing my business and my home, my marriage was not the worst thing that happened to me. There was two more things that happened, but the next thing that happened was my ex-husband took my children and brought them over to England on holiday. We were still living in India, and he brought them to the UK on holiday, and he refused to bring them back. He told me that he'd put them in school and that I had to come and live in the UK. And I won't go too much into the story, but I didn't know what to do. I phoned my solicitor and he said it's going to cost you around about £85,000 to get them back, and you'll have to be in the UK for 6 months. It's like, well, I don't have £85,000 anymore, and I do not want to be in the UK for 6 months. It was September time, and it, it was going to be cold. There's no way I wanted to be there, and plus I had nowhere to live. And so I prayed. I prayed to something bigger than me. I had been on my spiritual journey for about 2 or 3 years at this time. And I prayed and I said, what do I need to know? And I didn't really sleep. So whether I meditated for 2 minutes, 2 hours, I would always come out of that meditation and I'd have the next step. And I followed it. And within 2 weeks, I had hot-footed it over to the UK. I'd gone to court and I'd got my children back. But that was only because I followed the guidance. I was in the energetic alignment of having my children back. So where could you be clearing the resistance and the old scarcity patterns? So the next abundance code is the magnetic presence, embodying abundance through breath and posture and belief. Abundance isn't just about what you do, it's about how you show up. Well, who is your next level? Just like I said here, you're moving towards your desires. Who is that person that you are elevating into? Who is that person that you are being to attract your next level of energy, presence, and belief? And not just belief, but certainty that abundance is yours. So how lack of magnetism shows up: you're feeling invisible, overlooked for opportunities, struggling to own your value and charge your worth, doubting yourself, leading to hesitation and inconsistent action. And your energy says, I need, instead of I already have. Because we think it twice. Our manifestations are about thinking it twice. It happens in our head or our heart to begin with. Hopefully it's going to be your heart, because that's where your soul identity is. And once we've created it, then it's easier for us to step into it, to have it already. So shifting into magnetic presence, breath work. I teach conscious connected breath work. I teach about how to connect with your identity, your true identity, with your breath. Allow and bring in the light in, because remember, we are all light beings. Opening those doors, turning the lights back on, so you feel radiant and confident that you're able to achieve for certain the abundance that you desire. Embodying the energy of already having it. Acting, thinking, and speaking from this place of certainty, standing up tall, shoulders down from around your ears, and having that air of, yeah, it's mine. And the identity shifts, becoming the person who naturally attracts what it is you desire. You are a magnet for abundance, for limitless possibilities. And when you step into that magnetic presence, people, opportunities are naturally drawn to you. And it's like magic just happens. Magic happens out of nowhere. Magic and miracles just happen. The right people come into your world, opportunities, and it gets to be limitless. So the last of the abundance codes is quantum receiving, letting go of force and control and allowing in the synchronicity of those people, drawing in the right people with your magnetism. So you've been taught that success requires pushing and controlling and effort, just like you were when you were a baby. You had to cry. You had to, work hard at school. But the truth is, the biggest manifestation happens when you release the resistance and step into allowance. And this happens through the breath. So how blocking receiving, how blocks to receiving show up is feeling that you have to control every single thing and how it happens. Overworking because you don't trust that things come easily. Feeling guilty or uncomfortable about receiving more. Micromanaging instead of surrendering. So when you shift into quantum receiving, you can jump timelines. You can create these limitless possibilities. Who is it? Alice in Wonderland says, I'm going to do 4 impossible things before breakfast. And impossible, if you break it down, is I'm possible. You're open to synchronicity, letting the unexpected abundance flow in. Practicing deep gratitude and celebration and anchoring the energy of already having it. It's a totally different feeling. It's expansive. Your body feels like it's on tingle fire. So when you master quantum receiving, your life moves effortlessly and things show up in ways that you never, ever expected. So the key shifts, sorry about the neon, the blue light. The 3 shifts are: abundance isn't something you work harder for, it's something that you align with. And this is where you connect in with your soul's identity to understand what it is that you're aligning to, what it is that you're here, what's your purpose, what are you creating. And if you don't quite get that at this time, you can always, I am choosing a life I love. I am choosing limitless possibilities. I am choosing to live from my true nature and purpose. You learn to create safety in your body is number 2 in the key shifts. The more you allow in, the more safe your body feels. So understanding where your body hasn't got that safety aspect at this time, and maybe understanding where your ego and your unconscious and your conscious are that trying to keep you safe. Oh, I can't do that because if I do that, this might happen. It's a bit like the when I will feel. No, you have because you love it. So, so what's just dropped in is I wonder how you're loving on your body. So I have this acronym, first love yourself, which is the acronym FLY. FLY, first love yourself. And that's where I began loving my body, loving myself, so I could create better health. And from that place, I then began on the wealth and the relationship, the health and the relationship created the wealth and abundance. So let's shift your energy. So when you activate all 3 codes, abundance stops feeling like something you chase and becomes something you become. Abundance is something you become. So because most people come to me because they want more money. So I have a quiz. If you take a screenshot of this, you can go to emmagreensslade.com/money-quiz. And that gives you a quiz of 5 different areas. Action, empowerment, forgiveness. I've forgotten the other 2, sorry. They'll come back to me. Empowerment. No, I can't think of the 5th one off the top of my head at the moment. So there's a quiz there, and that will give you the 5 different areas. Once you've got your area to focus on, then I have a downloadable PDF that I can send out to you. I'm also offering the first 10 people to open conversation with me. So make sure that you book an open conversation with me, and I am going to tell you where you are blocking your abundance. This is pure gold. What has happened, where this is stored within your body, and what you can do to change it. And then you've got my links. So yeah, do the booking at emmagreensslade.com/booking. Bear in mind I'm on UK time, and then you've got my links, all my links. There's the website, there's some breathwork download, there's the booking link. So yeah, go and check those out. And then have I got another one? Oh yeah, please come and follow me at my on my socials. So Emma G Harmony is my new Instagram channel, and Facebook is Emma Greenslade 1111. Thank you so much for being here today. and listening about how your abundance frequency is all about your energy. I'd love to know what your ahas are, and I can't wait to see you on a call very soon. Lots of love.